And happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to the Dust Adventure Quest, where tonight we'll start game number 43, WaxWorks. I feel like with this music, the game box cover, I should do something like a sort of an evil Halloween type laugh. Seems rather suitable. Yeah, Sting is, hey Whitey. Purple, Glitch, Tango, Mantis. Yeah, Sting is playing, what? Brother in Arms, Rotail 30. Yeah, he's, I guess, in the last few missions there. Happy Different Colored Eyes Day, everybody. Different Colored Eyes Day has two reasons to celebrate. First of all, it celebrates diversity of eye color. Wouldn't the world be boring if everyone had the same color of eyes? Secondly, it recognizes an eye condition called heterochromia. People who have this trait have two different colors of eyes. One may be brown while the other is blue. Eye colors include shades of brown, shades of blue, shades of green, black, gray, and hazel. I guess you don't really see black and gray that often, mostly brown, but interesting. Celebrate Different Colored Eyes Day by taking particular notice of the eye colors of everyone you see. Oh yeah, that's actually quite probable, Tango, with the box art there, because I think this is the last game Horrorsoft made before they sort of embarked upon the. I guess they changed their names to AdventureSoft and then embarked upon the Simon the Sorcerer series, right? Oh, Glitch has gray eyes. Awesome. I'm gonna have to look at pictures because maybe I'm just not good at recognizing gray eyes and black eyes when I see them. Oh, you say blue because no one understands? Okay, that's cool. Alright, that takes us to today's Different Colored Eyes Day trivia, which asks you to name the celebrities below that all have heterochromia of one form or another. Some of them, it's very obvious they have two different colored eyes, and others have, I guess, what's known as sectoral heterochromia, which is their eyes may look the same color, but depending on the light source, they could look blue, you know, in one lighting, and then green in another. So first person to correctly identify each of these celebrities will earn themselves 3 bonus Cedrics. Sure, let me turn down the quick eerie music. Get a new piece of paper here. Whitey kicks us off with Simon Pegg, yeah. There's Simon Pegg. Mila Kunis, also correct. Tango says Benedict Cumberbatch. Yep, there's Benedict Cumberbatch. Mantis with, hey Mantis, Kiefer Sutherland. Yes, that's correct. Dan Aykroyd, also to Whitey, yep. Jane Seymour, oh that's a good one. I thought that might be the last one. Yep, yes, Jane Seymour is correct. And Tango just beats Whitey with Christopher Walken. Kate Bosworth is correct. Nicely done, Whitey. And Glitch gets, yes, Max Scherzer, who has probably the most striking, or at least contrast of those here. Yes, Max Scherzer also correct. Alright. Now this last one is tough. Admittedly, I would never get this one myself. I have heard of this guy, just not able to recognize him. I didn't really know what he looks like. I know the name and I know what he does, what he's famous for. I don't think I've ever seen a picture of him. So if I'll give it another 10 seconds. If no one gets it, then I'll give you a hint, which probably, at least one of you probably should get it based on the hint I'll give. Siegfried and Roy, says Ghost. No, it's not Siegfried nor Roy. Probably not a terrible guess, though. Okay. He's often known as the Lord of the Dance. Lord of the Dance. Let's see if anyone can get it based on that clue. Lord of the Dance. Yes, Whitey gets it. Michael Flatley is correct. Nice. Okay, yeah, Whitey, you made out with, looks like you got 6 of the 10. Well done. Let's hand out some Cedrics. Six to Tango, 3 to Mantis, and 3 to Glitch. There you go. And let's give out 1 bonus Cedric to everyone here at the start of the stream. You like to protest. I'm glad you said that, Glitch. I originally did have David Bowie here. Actually, I always say Bowie. I know it's Bowie. I always think of the Bowie knife, so I always say Bowie. David Bowie. However, he does not actually have heterochromia. He does have different colored eyes, so I guess I could have featured him, but the question says heterochromia. He actually apparently early on in his career injured one of his eyes, so that's why. Sting, thank you for the host. How many missions? Let me quickly take a look. Sting with 16 of 20 missions done, so only 4 remain. Nicely done, Sting. Congrats. Thank you, Whitey. Yes, a stone hit David Bowie's eye, so he technically does not have sort of natural heterochromia, so that's why he wasn't a great fit for the question. But if I just said name the celebrities below with different colored eyes, I guess he could have qualified, I suppose. Yeah. Oh, mission 20 is a cutscene, so really 3 to go. Oh, awesome. All right, so you'll probably finish that tomorrow. Are you going to be streaming tomorrow, Sting? We'll see. Brotherhood in Arms, Road to Hill 30 is what Sting is playing, everybody. Punched by his friend in school in a fight over a girl. His friend had a ring on his finger that caused his pupil to become permanently dilated. Oh, wow, yeah. Well, at least that's an interesting story. If you're going to have like a permanent scar or eye injury or something like that, it's always nice to have a good story. It's not a service, yeah. Well, fortunately, there's something called contact lenses, which is a little less permanent, which is the nice part there. People with interesting eyes, yeah, absolutely. Hey, good evening, Storm. Okay, so today is day 1 of WaxWorks, of course. If you haven't yet, make sure to submit your time guess. There we go, for WaxWorks. In our last game completed, which was Space Quest 3, The Pirates of Pestilon, final time there was 5 hours, 17 minutes. Both Jeff of Valis and Rexadoodle both were within 10 minutes of that final time, so they each won 250 Cedrics. We also had 2 folks who were within an hour, got 25 Cedrics, so good opportunity to earn some free Cedrics if you want to get your guess in for WaxWorks. I will be playing 100% blind. So yeah, just go ahead and, hey Lyriel. Yes, intense graphic violence, I hope you're prepared. Go ahead and just click on that Google link on the form just to submit it, so I have it all in one place when the game is finished. So as I mentioned, yeah, Space Quest 3, I ended up giving it a final rating of 7, which is actually lower than both of the first 2 installments of Space Quest 1 and 2. And the reason why it's a little bit lower is mainly 2 reasons. One, the ending of the game, that sort of fighting with the battle robots, and then also the arcade sequence with the ships, I thought were sort of poorly designed and executed, and I don't mind a little bit here and there, a little bit of, you know, an arcade minigame thrown in. For instance, I didn't mind the arcade Astro Chicken minigame. That was kind of fun, even though I wasn't terribly good at it, but it was okay. But the last 2 at the end, I mean, yeah, it just didn't work out and really kind of brought it down a notch for me. And also, it was kind of a little bit easier than the other 2 too. It was a little bit too short. So I think I did prefer the first 2. Even though the humor was better. That was the one thing that did improve. I actually did like the humor. I think they really got their groove and really improved from the first two. Ghost, did you guess? You may have. Let me quickly check. I think you did, yeah. I can double check that for you. Yeah, Ghost. In fact, now you have 2 entries. Yeah, if you do submit the form more than once, I'll always take the last entry. Okay, so game number 43 is WaxWorks. It did win the showdown yesterday. Maniac mentioned Day of the Tentacle lost again. It got shot for the 7th time it's lost. The next showdown, which we can take a quick preview of now, KGB moved out of the raffle queue to replace WaxWorks. So the next showdown will feature Day of the Tentacle, KGB, also known as Conspiracy in some parts, and Superhero League of Hoboken. Gonna lower the music even more a little bit. Okay, well, that's actually too much, but that's okay. It's changing tracks. Okay, that's fine. The raffle, by the way, was won by Olimars, who selected Dune. So Dune is now in at the raffle queue at R8. Hey, how's it going, Jake? Keep shooting. Oh, you're not a fan of Day of the Tentacle, Jake? It does have 15 guns, so it had twice as much firepower. More than twice as much firepower as both Hoboken and Waxworks, but Day of the Tentacle still lost, so I think it's been in the showdown now for a month. Or a little more than a month, actually. So that's just a heads up there. Alright, so Waxworks, we're showing Waxworks. How long we can keep it down? Yeah, it is kind of amusing at a point when it does fail enough times. So let's take a look at WaxWorks, a first-person dungeon crawl style role-playing video game, an RPG. So it's really like just like we saw with Elvira, which was also made by the same developer, Horrorsoft. WaxWorks is a adventure RPG hybrid. The game was released in 1992, originally an Amiga game, but was also released for DOS. This was the last game made by Horrorsoft before they became AdventureSoft, the company that made the Simon the Sorcerer series, and of course we played the first Simon the Sorcerer. And Lyriel has bought a gun for KGB, just like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and add that gun. Oh, in fact, actually, I never removed the firepower from WaxWorks. Well, that's easy enough now. Okay, good. KGB now has 2 guns. There we go. Can also change it here. And of course that is Jeff's game, so very appropriate. Okay, and then Whitey buying a gun for Day of the Tentacle, up to 16. See if I can pull another. Yep, there we go. Awesome. Canceling your gun out, one way to look at it, yeah. Alright, let me just update the bot command as well. So Tentacle up to 16 guns and KGB up to 2. Cool, thank you guys. Okay. Plot we will be reading. There's actually the game was released with a story, so we're actually going to be reading the backstory. Sting buying 2 slots for Winnie the Pooh. Yes, hey Jeff. Yes, guns are max at 3. 3 guns per game per person per day. That's the best way to say it. So Winnie the Pooh moves up 2 more slots. It'll move ahead of Ripley's Believe It or Not, the Riddle of Master Liu from Robopox, and Toonstruck from Mochum, up to V22. 11th and 12th slots up for Winnie the Pooh in the 100 Acre Wood. 40 seconds. Oh, no worries, it doesn't matter. I mean, anytime we're before the game, I mean, it's not really a big deal at all. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna skip through the plot here. Gameplay. WaxWorks is a first-person dungeon crawl-style RPG. The game is divided into 5 different time periods, as you can see up at the progress meter up on the top of the layout. And Lirael buying a slot for Toonstruck. Oh, shot right across Sting's bow. Didn't like that Winnie the Pooh had moved ahead of Toonstruck, so Toonstruck will move right back up to V22. First time that Toonstruck has been moved up. Oh, that's a good idea. Whitey, I should get a Hippo Rage emote. Now, all of a sudden, Storm is checking his Cedric, seeing how many he has, whether he wants to make a play here. So game is divided into 5 different time periods: the Ancient Egyptian period, Middle Transylvania, Victorian England, Industrial Mind, and Ixana's period. 3 of those time periods have a mixture of puzzle solving and combat, while the Victorian England and Ixana ones are more puzzle solving oriented. That's good news. I'm happy at least it tilts a little bit more on the adventure side, the puzzle side. Once a time period is completed, the player loses all experience points and weapons, creating a new challenge for each time period. Oh, that's kind of an interesting twist, actually. So it really is, the game is sort of divided up pretty neatly into 5 different sections there. Hey, how's it going, Goaty? In each time period, the player moves through a series of tight corridors using a bitmap, sprite-based point-and-click interface, picking up items, solving puzzles, avoiding deadly encounters, and engaging in combat with various opponents. Now, I have to say, I really hope the combat system is better than the one in Elvira. I hope they worked out some of the kinks and it's not quite as bad, but we'll see. That was kind of like a 50-50 guessing game with that one. During combat, players can target their opponent's individual body parts, such as head or arms. The player can use Uncle Boris's crystal ball to get hints and occasional healing items. Cody, thank you for the host. Much appreciated, Cody. Oh, and a reminder too, everyone, not only to follow Goaty for his Mega Marathon, playing all Mega Drive games, but also for Nintendo, the upcoming Nintendo, which is just in about a couple of weeks now, I think. Another multi-day, 3-day showcase of non-Nintendo retro games from many different streamers. And Storm has pulled the trigger. Call of Cthulhu, Shadow of the Comet, which I think is in the raffle queue. Yes, it is indeed. Getting moved ahead of Commander Blood from Whitey Snakey, with Whitey here in attendance to see. So we'll see. Maybe will Whitey respond in kind? We shall see. Thank you, Storm. By the way, Storm, have you? Oh yeah, Storm, you have not used your viewer pick yet, Storm. Yeah, Storm, you can still add a game to the buy a game and add it to the viewer queue for 100 Cedrics. I see you haven't yet. Get Rex, yeah. All right, let's see. So yeah, the player can use Uncle Boris's crystal ball to get it hints and occasional healing items. The main objective is to collect a special item from the evil twin ancestors before venturing into the Ixana period to undo the family curse. Sting buying a slot for Full Throttle. Oh, moving away from his Winnie the Pooh Mickey Mouse strategy. This time, he'll bump up Full Throttle ahead of Innocent Until Caught from Don Tekid, so Full Throttle up to V15. And now, yes, Whitey does respond. Commander Blood back up on top of the raffle queue, I should say. Not the viewer queue, the raffle queue. Back up to R1. Cedric Wars, indeed. I love it. Mantis now buying a slot for Bureaucracy, and I love the Cedrics are being spent with a variety of different games. Great spread. Oh, for Vorpal. Vorpal is lurking and watching. I'm sure Vorpal is cracking a smile there. Bureaucracy. Although Vorpal tends to be pretty chill about this kind of thing, but still, you gotta like to see some love being thrown Bureaucracy's way. one of the tougher Infocom text adventures, from what I understand. So bureaucracy passes Rex Nebular and the Cosmic Gender Bender up to R6. Alright, yeah, this... Alright, let me try see if I can turn down the... I think the volume is a little loud. Okay, that's better. Yeah, Cedric Horse, I love it. Okay. Development. The game uses the Agos engine, which is a modified version of the AberMud 5 engine. The story for WaxWorks was developed by Dick Moran, original music composed by Jez Woodruff, who worked with John Warfield for the sound design. Producers Todd Thorson and Mark Wallace worked with the help of David Friedland and Trisha Woodruff, who managed the technical resources. Reception. Computer Gaming World criticized the small game apps, overemphasis on combat, oh god, and the IBM PC's version use of an Amiga-like 32 color palette instead of 256 color VGA graphics, but liked the very atmospheric soundtrack, which we're listening to. The magazine concluded that despite flaws, the game was better than most CRPGs, and that for those who revel in the macabre, WaxWorks continues to satisfy the bent toward the supernatural. The game received 5 out of 5 stars in Dragon. Let's take a look at the Museum of Computer Adventure Game History. Take a look at some of the... There, of course, is the box art. Parental warning, intense graphic violence. Here you've got the back of the box. Descend into 5 vast worlds of molten terror. The terror began when you were 8 and your twin brother Alex vanished into the black maze of mine tunnels beneath Vista Forge, the home of your Uncle Boris's demon-filled Waxworks. 20 years later, Uncle Boris dies, leaving you his collection of fiendish displays and the stupefying news that Alex is alive. Possessed by a 500-year-old family curse, your brother schemes to resurrect the undead denizens of 5 blood-soaked worlds of the past, present, and future. 19th century London, ancient Egypt, an abandoned mineshaft, a haunted cemetery, and the malevolent chambers of the Waxworks itself. Your only hope to save Alex lies in removing the curse of the witch Ixona, and a courage you're not sure you possess. Designed by Horsoft, published by Accolade. Yes, there is indeed a code wheel for copy protection, which seems to be based on Egyptian hieroglyphics, it looks like. Yeah, at least the symbols. But yeah, you gotta love those code wheels. Ingredients, I guess this is just telling you what's in that came in the box, but I like how they put ingredients. I wonder if we're gonna have to do more spell making and casting. Here's a flyer, an insert for the hint line. Call 900-990-HINT, dial your way out of dead ends. The charge is an embarrassingly small 85 cents for the first minute and 60 cents for each additional minute. If you need more help than Uncle Boris can provide, we suggest you call Accolade's exciting hint line for instant clues 24 hours a day. Wow, 24 hours a day, that's impressive they had that open. You must be at least 18 or have your parents' permission to use the hint line. Double density disk exchange. If you wish to replace the high density disks found in this package with double density disks, $360K each, please mail your disks with this card and $5 check or money order to Accolade in San Jose. Oh, check out those discs. Accolade, the best in entertainment software. Floppies. Gotta love the floppies. Loading, nothing. That might be it, actually. Yeah, the rest are just kind of PDFs for, like, I guess an Accolade catalog and so on and so forth. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the, now the game did also come with a story called The Curse of the Twins, including Uncle Boris's letter, which was written by Richard Moran. This is a 12-page story. It gives a whole backstory for the game, so we're going to read through that, and then we'll get through the manual. If you are just tuning in, make sure, if you haven't yet, feel free to submit a time guess for WaxWorks for a chance to win Cedric's. Yeah, interesting, Tango, because it was released in '92, which, you know, pretty firmly things were. I mean, you were just kind of entering the CD era there then, but you know, more firmly on 3.5-inch. But I think they still gave support for at least the 5 1/4s, even during the CD era. They, to some extent, I would guess maybe what mid '90s or so, they probably started phasing out the 5 1/4s. All right, so let's read The Curse of the Twins. Can I page down here? There we go. Your life changed the day Uncle Boris was buried. The omens were bad right from the start of that cold, wet morning. You'd been up all night on a red-eye flight, dreading this, your first visit back to your birthplace since your twin brother Alex had disappeared so many years ago. You'd been a teenager the day Alex and you had gone off to explore one of the myriad dark, dank tunnels that honeycombed the earth under Vista Forge, the coastal mining community where you were born. A cloud of bats had suddenly swarmed out of a side shaft, knocking the flashlight out of your hand. When you finally found the light and turned it back on, Alex was gone. A week-long search by the police and 50 volunteers had failed to find your brother. He had simply vanished, as if the earth had swallowed him whole. Yet, deep in your heart, you had never been able to accept Alex's death. Like all identical twins, there was an invisible cord between you and your brother. A bond formed in the womb that acted as a conduit of feelings and emotions between you. Growing up, you'd felt the pain whenever Alex hurt himself, and the paralyzing fear the time he locked himself in an old refrigerator. That link between you hadn't been broken, and sometimes in bed at night, you would smell a musty odor or taste something strange in your mouth, and you wondered. There was another odd physical manifestation you were convinced was somehow linked to Alex. Often, just before you... Wait, what? Oh, just before you mental image? Yeah, maybe just before you mental image of your brother, and at that moment your toes would curl down under toward your heels so violently that your feet still hurt in the morning. I think the, hold on one second, let me just, gotta loop the soundtrack here, repeat, yes. There we go. Okay. The streets were slick and puddled from the rain as you drove your rented car away from the airport. You glanced at your watch and realized you'd be late for the service at the cemetery. Memories flooded back as you drove through town. It seemed like nothing in Vista Forge had changed. Same houses, same storefronts, same dispirited looks on the faces of the people on the sidewalks. Even the trees and bushes looked like they hadn't grown an inch since you'd left. Nearing the storm-lashed coast, you caught sight of Uncle Boris's eerie stone mansion set on a cliff overlooking the pounding surf. The house had been built over a yawning sea cave, and you remembered the rumors that the wave-swept cavity was connected to the mine tunnels further inland. Even from a distance, the house had a weird look about it, a spooky aura that reflected the man who'd owned it. Uncle Boris had always been strange. He had a macabre fascination with everything evil, from torture devices to mass murderers. So obsessed was he with the demoniac netherworld that he'd converted his lovely home into a waxworks filled with witches, monsters, and evil beings. Okay, so by waxworks, I mean it's kind of like a wax museum sort of thing where they're making, you know, figures of these witches and evil monsters and things out of wax. Not long after Uncle Boris began his waxworks, word began to spread through Vista Forge of horrible screams coming from the stone house, and fishermen spreading their nets offshore swore they saw monstrous shapes passing the lighted windows at night. Everyone in the community gave the waxworks a wide berth, and after one visit, not even your parents would go near the ghoulish mansion. Once, you and Alex had played hooky from school, and a delighted Uncle Boris had given you a tour of the creepy chambers. You had shuddered at the sight of Jack the Ripper and the Egyptian mummy and other fiendish exhibits. Yet Alex had been both fascinated and fearless, and almost every week after that he would sneak over to the waxworks and spend hours alone with Uncle Boris's collection of monsters. After Alex disappeared, your parents were afraid the tunnels under Vista Forge would claim you too. They sold their house, vowing never to return, and the three of you moved far away. By the time you got to the cemetery, the rain was coming down on cold, slanting sheets, running in rivulets between the gravestones. You were the last one to arrive, and the little knot of people at the gravesite threw you accusing looks. Obviously put out, you'd kept them waiting in the downpour. There was no other family member there to say goodbye to Uncle Boris. Only two unshaven gravediggers, an oilcloth rain slickers, and a stoop-shouldered minister who continuously coughed deep in his chest and wiped his dripping nose with a sopping, threadbare handkerchief. The pasty-faced minister droned through a brief prayer and had hardly said Amen before the gravediggers were pulling out the planks holding the casket over the grave. The wet rope slipped quickly through their hands as they lowered the coffin into the ground. Suddenly, a blinding flash stabbed down from the sky, and a lightning bolt split open an old oak tree only yards up the slope. Startled witless, the gravediggers let loose the ropes, and Uncle Boris's coffin plunged into the rectangular pit. As the coffin hit bottom, a tremendous clap of thunder shook the graveyard, echoing madly off the rain-streaked walls of the surrounding mausoleums. Before the echo of the thunder died away, a nauseous slurping sound burst from the grave, as if the water in a huge sink were being sucked down a tunnel-sized drain. The sickening sound grew louder and louder, and now you could feel the ground trembling beneath your feet. The gravediggers stared down into the hole in disbelief, their faces masks of revulsion and fear. Then they turned and ran, sliding and falling as they disappeared into the pelting rain. The minister stood there dumbfounded, his mouth open as you stepped carefully up to the side of the grave and peered down at the coffin. Only there wasn't any coffin. The bottom of the pit was empty. Where the rectangular walls ended, a funnel-shaped hole descended down into a black void. Like Alex, Uncle Boris had been swallowed up by the earth. Then, you couldn't be sure, but you thought you saw movement far below. The next moment there was a face in the dark gloom. Your face. For an instant you thought you were going mad. Was there a mirror down there in the muddy pit? Then your throat constricted and you couldn't breathe, as you realized you weren't seeing a reflection of your face, but a replica. Alex! You screamed, an instant before the face vanished again. Confused and frightened now, you staggered back away from the grave. The minister had disappeared. Drenched to the skin, your head splitting, you trudged off through the rain toward the cemetery office. When you got there, the director was waiting, and the pale-faced gravediggers were throwing back shots of whiskey in the corner. The bald, black-suited director wrung his bony hands as he apologized for the terrible incident. He knew this would happen someday, he said, wetting his dry lips, for like most of Vista Forge, the ground beneath the cemetery was a labyrinth of mine tunnels and shafts. A cave-in was inevitable. He promised to send some men down into the grave pit as soon as the rain stopped. They'd rebury Uncle Boris at the cemetery's expense. The explanation seemed logical, but still, the grotesque incident had unnerved you. When you mumbled that you'd seen a face in the grave, a face like yours, the director had shrugged and said you'd undoubtedly seen your own face reflected back by a puddle down below. You clung to his explanation. A water reflection, of course. Why hadn't you thought of that? That had to be it. By the time you reached the motel where you'd reserved a room, you weren't sure what had happened. All you knew was that you wanted out of Vista Forge. Fast. Your first impulse was to fly home immediately. But then, after a fitful hour of indecision, you decided you'd stay over for the night. You were scheduled to attend a reading of Uncle Boris's will in an attorney's office the next morning, and in his last letter the eccentric old gentleman had written that you were to inherit his entire estate. Nightmares plagued your sleep that night, terrible visions of the animated corpses of Alex and Uncle Boris wandering the perpetually dark tunnels below Vista Forge, their putrefying flesh scaling off their faces in rancid slabs. At 3 a.m. you gave up on sleep and lay there in your hotel bed thinking. remembering. You recalled Uncle Boris's one and only visit to your home several years after you'd moved away from Vista Forge. When Uncle Boris walked in that door that day, long ago, he'd stared at you for several moments without saying a word. Then, when your parents were both off in the kitchen, he'd suddenly turned and told you how much you looked like Alex. That remark had unnerved you, for Alex was dead, had been for years by then. Shortly afterwards, you'd all sat down to dinner. The talk had gradually shifted to the family history. Your ancestors on your mother's side had come from a tiny village in Wallachia, a Romanian province deep in the Transylvanian Alps. It was a region where werewolves and vampires were said to roam the countryside on moonless nights, and peasants feared nothing more than an evil curse. Your mother had tried to shift the conversation, but Uncle Boris insisted on telling the legend of Ixona, a dark family secret for centuries past. During the barbarous days of the Middle Ages, he said, one of your ancestors had caught an old witch named Ixona stealing chickens from his farm. As punishment, he had cut off the screaming hag's right hand with an axe. Lying in the dirt of the farmyard, the ragged crone had drawn a crystal ball from beneath her blood-caked cloak and set it in the dust before her. In every family there is dormant evil waiting to be awakened, she said in an agonized voice. For spilling my blood, I shall call forth an ancient curse to poison yours. Your ancestor had brought up his axe to finish off the hag, but his pregnant wife had stayed his arm, terrified that killing the crone would rain evil down upon both of them. Her face twisted in agony, the witch had stared into the murky depths of the glass globe before her. 2,000 years ago, one of your Egyptian ancestors had twin boys. One was good, but the other was cursed by an evil pharaoh and turned into a monster. The witch had struggled to her feet, hate raging in her bloodshot eyes as she clutched the crystal ball against her. I call upon the curse of the pharaoh to return. Once more in every generation in which your family bears twins, one shall belong to Beelzebub. The farmer's wife screamed in fright, for the village midwife had told her she would have twins. Your ancestor had tried to smash the crystal ball with his axe, but the witch had whirled out of reach and quickly fled to the safety of the nearby dark woods. Soon afterward, the farmer's wife gave birth to twin sons. One, Druek, grew up to be a decent, hard-working farmer, but the other, Vladimir, was corrupt and lusted after money and power. As the witch's evil curse took hold of him, it was said, his feet became cloven, and he was forced to wear special boots to walk. Gathering the miscreants of the province, Vladimir pillaged neighboring villages and gradually gathered an army of cruel mercenaries around him. In 1448, he seized the throne of Wallachia and instituted a reign of terror as Vlad IV. One of his first acts as prince was to send out his army to find the old witch who had cursed his family. She was thrown into the dungeon and repeatedly tortured, but she refused to lift the curse. Infuriated, Vlad had her impaled on a stake driven into the bottom of a swamp outside his walls. In the 2 days it took the old hag to die, the bog snakes and snapping turtles stripped the living flesh from her body, bite by small bite. In the years that followed, Vlad had his enemies in Wallachia tortured to death, and then ordered their bodies impaled on stakes at the borders of his kingdom. History was to know him as Vlad the Impaler, one of the bloodiest tyrants ever to rule on the earth. The curse of Ixona persisted down through the centuries, and whenever twins were born into your family, one took to evil ways. It was said one twin was the head torturer during the Spanish Inquisition, another was rumored to be the Marquis de Sade, and a female twin was burned at the stake during the Salem witch trials. When Uncle Boris finished his story, your mother looked at you and paled, for though Alex was gone, you too were a twin. Uncle Boris saw her look and reached across the table to pat her hand reassuringly. She wasn't to worry, he'd said, for he'd found the way to finally lift Ixona's curse from the family. Uncle Boris leaned back in his chair and went on. As they all knew, he had built a WaxWorks with recreations of some of history's most fiendish murderers and monsters. He had purposely surrounded himself with these demonic characters, for he was convinced that by immersing himself totally in evil, he could come to understand the sinister forces loose on Earth, and thus better know how to lift Ixona's curse. And it had worked. One night, staring at the wax face of Vlad the Impaler, he had had a vision of a dark bog pocked with broken masonry blocks. He had flown to Wallachia, and within days had located the swamp he dreamt of close beside the north wall of the ruined castle. He'd hired workmen to drain the marsh. When the water receded there, sticking out of the muddy bottom, was the skeleton of a woman impaled on an oak stake. An iron box was hung around her neck with a chain, and in the box was the crystal ball Ixona had used to curse the family 600 years before. Uncle Boris explained that he had only begun to understand the powers of the ancient glass sphere. It would take him years, but eventually, he promised, he would find a way to lift Ixona's curse. That family dinner was the last time you'd seen Uncle Boris alive. At 7 a.m., the phone rang. It was the cemetery director. As soon as it was light that morning, he'd sent men down into the grave to retrieve Uncle Boris's body. Just as he'd suspected, there was a mine tunnel under the gravesite. They found the casket in the dark passage. The director hesitated. He didn't know quite how to tell you this, but the coffin had been smashed open. The body was gone. He had no explanation. Without a word, you hung up the phone, feeling a sudden compulsion to go down into the tunnels yourself. You would go in the same entrance you and Alex had used the day he disappeared years before. You bought a lantern at the local hardware store, and 45 minutes later you entered the old mine. You could tell by the thick spiderwebs and undisturbed dust that no one had been in there in years. The light soon faded, along with the hum of traffic from the nearby interstate. The only sound now was the dripping of water leaking in from yesterday's rain and the whistling of the wind through the narrow passages. Several minutes later, you reached the spot where Alex had disappeared. All of a sudden, you could feel his presence like warm breath on the back of your neck. As you swung the light around to search the gloom, the beam revealed what looked like a pile of dry sticks protruding from the dust of the tunnel floor. You knelt to pick one up and realized with a start that they weren't sticks but bones, bat bones. How strange, you thought, that so many bats would die in exactly the same spot. Then, something about one of the bones made you look more closely. Your heart began to beat wildly. There were teeth marks on the bone. Human teeth marks. There was another heap of bat bones nearby, and most of them you could see showed clear signs that someone had butchered and eaten the animals. Suddenly your eye caught something glistening beneath a thin layer of dust. You bent and brushed away the powder, then yanked back your hand in horror. It was a fresh fish head, the remains of one of the saltwater fish that found their way into the tunnels from the distant sea cave. A sickly sweat coursed from your pores as you turned quickly for the entrance, looking back over your shoulder every few paces. Halfway back, a side tunnel led off to the right, and you noticed fresh tracks in the dust. They hadn't been there when you came in, you were sure of that. You swept a light over the tracks and froze. They were the imprints of cloven feet. You knew now. Someone, something, was living in the tunnel, eating bats and fish to survive. You ran as fast as you could back down the tunnel and out into the light. On the way to the lawyer's office, you couldn't shake the feeling of horror that gripped you. Who could be living in the tunnels? Who but Alex? The lawyer looked the part. A tall, gray-haired man in a pinstripe suit surrounded by law books. Being the executor of Uncle Boris's estate would net him only a small fee, and he looked profoundly bored. You were the sole heir, the attorney said, something you already knew, and Uncle Boris had left you all his holdings. There was a small bank account, a 10-year-old Dodge, and of course the waxworks. Finally, there was a sealed envelope from your uncle that contained a letter and the keys to his eerie mansion. The attorney volunteered to handle the sale of the waxworks, which he assumed you'd want to dispose of as soon as possible. It was an unsavory place, the lawyer said, though he'd never been inside. The stories about the waxworks, he added, kept most people from visiting the chilling mansion. If it were up to him, he'd tear the place down and sell the land to developers. You thanked the attorney and left, the envelope from Uncle Boris in your coat pocket. Back at the hotel, you decided to read the letter later and tossed it on the dresser. You called the airline and reserved a seat on the 6 o'clock plane, then changed into a coat and tie for the trip home. As you were knotting your tie in the mirror, your eye strayed to the envelope and curiosity got the better of you. Sitting down on the bed, you slit the seal, took out the keys to the waxworks, and then unfolded your uncle's letter. My dear sister's child, the letter began. What you will read in these pages will shock you, and you will feel a revulsion and horror at what you learn. Yet, I must tell you all, for now that I have gone over to the other side, you are the only one on earth who can stop the evil that is to come. You must know first that your twin brother is alive. Yes, for all these years he has dwelt in the tunnels beneath Vista Forge, emerging from his dark lair only at night. He was preordained from birth to come under the curse of the ancient witch Ixona, and that day he disappeared, he was taken by the forces of evil. Now he belongs to the dark side and does the bidding of Beelzebub. You must neither hate nor blame him, for his will is not his own. It is still not too late to save your twin, to free his tortured soul from the evil curse that grips and drives him. Yet, do not deceive yourself that his salvation will be easy. He will fight you with the ferocity of Beelzebub himself, and he has terrible powers undreamed of by sane minds. You see, your brother has been given dominion over the demons of the past. His unholy mission is to use his nefarious powers to resurrect the evil beings that have tortured and murdered throughout history. Unless you stop him, innocent men, women, and children will fall prey to these fiends and monsters, and the entire world will inexorably come under the control of his zombie slaves. I will help you all I can, appearing to you from the swirling mists within Ixana's crystal ball. You must waste no time. Go to the waxworks at once, but go prepared for a journey through the supernatural, a trip back through time. You will be surrounded by evil, beset by fiends, yet you must not falter. Your brother's salvation and the fate of the world is now in your hands. Uncle Boris. Slowly you put down the letter, your mind reeling. The suspicion, the feeling you'd had all these years is true. Your twin brother's alive. But in what form? True, he has a face, you saw that in the bottom of the grave, and it was like looking in the mirror. But what about the rest of him? You shudder at the thought of the cloven footprints in the mine tunnel. An overpowering urge to flee comes over you. All you can think of is getting on that plane and leaving Vista Forge and the waxworks and your cloven-footed brother as far behind you as possible. Yet, you know you can't leave. You've inherited the waxworks, and with it the terrible mandate handed down to you by Uncle Boris. With dread in your heart, you put on your coat and drive slowly toward the waxworks. The rain has returned, and your heartbeat seems to synchronize with the rhythmic sound of the wiper blades thumping back and forth across the windshield. It's dusk when you reach the waxworks. As you park your car, a lightning bolt pierces the rapidly darkening sky, and the air feels charged with electricity. The clap of thunder that follows is even louder than yesterday's booming storm over the cemetery. As you walk toward the door of the eerie mansion, you know Alex is somewhere inside, and with him, his zombie slaves, the most evil cast of murderous monsters ever to walk the face of the earth. The Curse of the Twins. Pretty well written too, from what I saw. Okay, so it looks like the spoiler shot is down. Okay, let me see if I can Let me see if I can get it going before we dive into the manual. Let's see if I still have access to it. What happened to my other browsers? There we go. Yeah, it's pretty good story. I liked it. I'm really glad we did. I know it was kind of long, but I'm glad we read it because it really does give a good backstory. 1 second here. Oh yeah, you know what? Group chat is done for me too. I wonder if it expired. I don't see it under my list either. All right, give me 1 moment, guys. Okay, yeah, so I guess I might need to create a new one. Does anyone know if just group chats are down, or did
Shut up and take
is it just this one that expired? Actually, because I don't see the group chat for I'm in another spoiler chat for another streamer. I don't see that here either. So maybe they're just temporarily down. Hey, Tom. It's a heartwarming tale of a simple wax museum owner. Absolutely. Okay, Storm is using their viewer pick to buy King's Quest II Romancing the Throne. Okay, the second King's Quest II game. Was wondering when that would go, and it's now gone. Thank you, Storm. Once again, if you have yet to use, everyone gets 1 viewer pick. And Tom, thank you so much for the host. For 100 Cedrics, you can buy your viewer pick to add to our viewer queue. So now that King's Quest II has been selected, that unlocks King's Quest III to air as human. So that's now eligible to be selected. So that's Storm's pick here. What is the wow, I can't believe I forgot the Romancing the Throne, right? That bottom here, to the bottom of our viewer queue, King's Quest II, Romancing the Throne. And that was, I think, what was that, 86? Something like that? 87, okay. Should be a fantasy. Yeah, 87 fantasy. Okay, we can take a quick look at that one. Of course, King's Quest I was, which game number was that? 27 or something, I think? Yeah, 27. Beat that in game 27. After having recovered the 3 treasures, King Graham has been crowned king. Now having need a queen. Maybe just now needing a queen for companionship, Graham searches the land for a maiden, but to no avail, so he turns to the magic mirror for help. The mirror shows him a beautiful girl locked away in a quartz tower in a faraway land of Colima. He must find 3 keys that are used to unlock the door that will lead to her. Yep, King's Quest II, which even reused that the same throne room from the first game. But the graphics are pretty much the same. They didn't really improve all of them a whole lot. I mean, I think they made some changes, improvements to the user interface and stuff. But yeah. All right, cool. I'm looking forward to that one. Thank you, Storm. Okay, let's go ahead and... Yeah, so no, does anyone have any ideas about... Oh, hey, Ambrosine. Yeah, all the rooms disappeared. Okay, so I'm guessing they're just down temporarily. It's just a support issue, so I'm not going to create a new one. Let's see if they come back. Alright. Warning, danger ahead. Still dazed from the strange and terrifying events of the past week, you pause at the cold, forbidding entrance to Uncle Boris's eerie stone mansion. Inside awaits the Waxworks. You really don't want to be here. You want to turn on your heel and flee this vile, revolting place, never to return. But you can't. You must master your fears and go on. Remember that only you can free your possessed twin Alex from the dreaded curse of Ixona, and save the world from the diabolical forces of evil he is preparing to unleash. You must face the horrors that await you in the Waxworks, and you must face them alone. Lifting the curse of Ixona and saving Alex will not be easy. You'll need extraordinary skill and cunning to avoid the flesh-rending traps and solve the mind-perplexing puzzles that await you. You'll need heroic courage and superhuman strength to face the ruthless fiends that lurk within the bowels of the perilous Waxworks. Take heart. You'll have the benevolent spirit of Uncle Boreas to guide you if you falter. The forbidding doors slowly open with a low, mournful wail. Your flesh crawls as the faint smell of the musty old wax museum pervades the air around you. You find yourself staring into the lifeless eyes of a huge, creepy apparition in a butler suit. He escorts you through the halls leading to the exhibits. The corridors appear harmless, but you still feel uneasy. Things are not as they appear. There are 4 dangerous, challenging quests to master and survive before you can save Alex. You will journey to the mysterious land of the pharaohs to explore the Great Pyramid and rescue a beautiful princess. You will have to tread the dark, menacing streets of 1888 London to confront the murderous Jack the Ripper and foil his malevolent plot. You will also be required to descend into the treacherous iron mines to battle a huge mutant plant with an insatiable appetite for human flesh. And you must enter an unworldly graveyard to confront and vanquish the evil necromancer and the rotting, mindless horde of zombies who do his bidding. The time has come for you to enter the exhibits and face your destiny. Chances are you won't survive. You'll probably be horribly tortured and gruesomely mutilated before this is over. You may even lose your life. We wish you luck. You will need it. Alright, getting started. Mouse and keyboard operations. Mouse is used to examine, select, and manipulate objects while you're playing WaxWorks. You can use it to move around the exhibits and make text selections. Although most mice come equipped with 2 or even 3 buttons, the only button you will use in WaxWorks is the left button. You press it when we ask you to click. When we ask you to drag something somewhere, it means we want you to hold the mouse button down while moving something around. You let go of the mouse button when you have completed the action. Sometimes during the installation while playing the game, you will need to use the keyboard. For example, the arrow keys can be used to move around the exhibits. When we ask you to type something, such as directory paths or position names, you use the keyboard. Wow, so that's what typing is. Finally found out after all these years. Here are some other keys that cause things to happen in WaxWorks. S is sound, M music. Alright, I guess there are only 2 other keys, okay? Just the basics. Your ultimate quest is to discover the secret of the WaxWorks and lift the curse of Ixona that plagues your family. Alright, yeah, let's actually write that one down. Just for folks that may be joining us. Lift curse of I'll just put like lift witch's curse. And save twin brother. In the world. Okay. Try to ignore the gnawing fear in your gut, the feeling of impending disaster that threatens to overwhelm you. The ghastly exhibits inside hold the key to your fate. You have to explore the intricate passages, alleys, and tunnels that make up the WaxWorks. Be warned that once you enter an exhibit, the only way out is to solve the puzzle with win a terrible battle, or die a horrible death. When you complete an exhibit, you will be transported back into your Uncle Boris's Wax Museum, ready for your next adventure. Maybe I should actually call these exhibits rather than time periods. In fact, I think I will do that, since that's what they seem to be calling them, exhibits. Gonna need to get an exhibit icon too. Oh, that's actually not a bad one. Oh yeah, I'd have to reverse that. Okay, I'll probably end up doing this. Well, I guess I could do it quickly. Give me 1 second. Pixlr to the rescue. Boom. Okay. Yeah, this should be pretty fast to change this. Boom. Boom. Done. Save. Okay, saved. Let's swap it in. Okay, cool. Boom. All right, great. All right, let's go back to the manual. How do I move around? It's time for you to take action. You can't lift the curse if you're just standing there. So we have a compass icon and direction arrows. Start by checking the directions you can go with the arrows. If you prefer to check direction with a compass, position the pointer over the compass icon in the right corner of your screen and click. Oh, I see, the upper right corner, okay. Direction arrows changes to a compass. Possible directions are highlighted at the top of the Okay, we can use the arrow key on the keyboard. Okay, yeah, so it should be pretty straightforward. Yeah, I remember that from Elvira. If you want to turn around to see what's coming or where you've been, click on the center of the direction arrow or compass. This turns you around 180 degrees without affecting your position. As you progress through an exhibit, you may find that you can go up or down to other levels. At that point, the up or down arrow will light up. Okay, got it. Caution, it's not a good idea to stay in one place for too long. Beings hungry for your blood can come up from behind, stun, and eventually slaughter you if you aren't paying attention. If you see stars, you better make a quick 180-degree turn and see who's beating on your head. Then you can pause and think about what this all means. For details, see interacting with the inhabitants. Yeah, so I remember that from Elvira. The enemies actually pursue you. So even if you're just kind of in one location, they could still enter and fight you. What's all this stuff? Okay, lots of objects to look at, pick up, manipulate, plaques, papers, stuff to read. Swords and knives can perform actions. An object may contain other objects. Some objects have a hidden purpose, so you may have to examine them more than once. Spend some time to thoroughly evaluate what they do. Even mutilated bodies may hold some secret, so don't be too squeamish about rifling their pockets. To look at something, move it over the object. Brief description appears in the text box. Click once and the object arrows. Okay, yeah, I'm just kind of, a lot of the stuff, even if you read it, you just have to figure it out for yourself, the interface. Sometimes when you click on something like a large object, corpse, or injured inhabitant, the exhibit screen shows a close-up of the item you clicked. You can tell it's a close-up. Large R. Ah, right, I remember that too from Elvira. Okay. Elvira, by the way, I think was game 18, I want to say. Picked by Abs, also Abs Nerdity. Was another Horrorsoft game. What do I do with this stuff? You can take almost anything you can touch with your pointer except large, heavy objects, things fixed in place, and decomposing corpses. Some of the stuff is useful, some is not. Oh no. For instance, you might want to grab a weapon at your earliest opportunity in case something hungry for fresh meat comes your way. Some objects combine with other objects to form a third, more useful object. Other times you may try to use one object on another object to see if anything interesting happens. The bottom line, objects are not always as they seem at first glance. Early pre-rendered 3D FMV game. I don't think so, Altman. I don't think so. Because the game was also distributed on 5 1/4 floppy disks, which is did not have that much storage, so I don't think so. I think you're confusing with something else. There was another game we saw. I think that was... I know what you're talking because someone did pick it, and it was like 1991. I think it was a raffle pick. Oh, it might have been... Yes, it was Clive Barker's Nightbreed, the interactive movie, which was Cora's raffle pick, a raffle win. I think it was Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Yeah, I think that's the one you're thinking of, which is a very early 1990 that had some FMV components to it. Good question, though. If you can't find what you need, you may have to combine items. Before you can do something with an object, you must possess it. Several ways to do this. Hand and click. Move the hand over the object and click. Okay. Alright, I'll figure that stuff out. We've got a display box, which is basically... Oh. I see, okay, that's the inventory, yep. When you have more stuff that fits in, yeah, that makes sense. Exhibit window is where all the action takes place. Each time you move, it shows you your location. Use it to watch for creepy inhabitants who might walk right up to you and start hacking away. Who am I? When you step into an exhibit, you become an inhabitant of the exhibit, a character in the time period you have stepped into. The character box in the top left corner of your screen shows who you are. Oh, interesting, we change characters. Where am I? That's a good question. When you're running around dark alleys and twisting corridors, things can get pretty confusing. You may want to take some extra time and create a map of each exhibit as you go along. So I wonder, oh man, I might need to get Trizboard out for this. Or maybe it'll be pen and paper, I don't know. Yeah, I might consider doing Trizboard, we'll see. Yeah. How am I doing? The status line across the bottom shows your state of your current character. It shows the following 4 very important pieces of information. HP hit points goes up with your level. Goes down when you are under attack from some nasty inhabitant. If HP reaches 0, you're dead, and it's not a pretty sight. Uncle Boris may be able to help you increase your HP if you are injured, and have the items he needs. Okay, so you can heal us. Level goes up as you gain experience. Other powers increase, allowing you to gain more HP and fight fiercer, scarier opponents. Experience goes up as you explore the exhibits, solve puzzles, and kill things. As experience reaches a certain point, your level goes up. Maybe I should... Yeah, my experience might be a good thing to put up there too, actually. Although it does... I think it resets. Is it just level that resets between exhibits, or does experience too? Trizboard. It's a piece of mapping software for adventure games, primarily for interactive fiction games, but you could use it to map anything. So because we're going to have to do some mapping of the, I guess, of the different levels here, or exhibits, I was thinking of using that because the benefit of doing that nib is that I can get it on screen so you guys can see the map I'm making too, which is a big plus, rather than me just drawing it off stream and you guys, you know, whatever, you can't see that. You know, because it's fun when you're watching the game to also follow the map as well. Psychic energy reflects how much psychic energy you have to contact your Uncle Boris using the crystal ball. Decreases when you get hints, information about the game, or healing from Uncle Boris. Ah, interesting. Display box shows critical information about exhibits, objects, and inhabitants you encounter during your quest. Wait, that's the inventory, right? Look at what you've collected, find out more about an object, receive messages about your progress, and talk to the inhabitants. And the text box displays a brief description of the object on which the pointer is positioned. Where's the text box? Oh, it's probably this thing. Yeah. Activity icons let you manipulate objects in WaxWorks. To animate a particular icon, move the pointer over and click. Compass, to toggle between direction arrow and compass indicator. Hand picks up and moves objects. Crystal ball contacts Uncle Boris. Uncle Boris guides you on your journey by providing hints, information about your objective in each exhibit, and healing. Using the crystal ball will cost you psychic energy. Oh geez. Okay, so I may want to refrain from doing that. What happens if psychic energy goes down? So we probably just have a finite amount, so I have to use that wisely. Inventory icon. Returns the inventory display to this display box. Use after a message when searching a large object or any other activity which causes your inventory to disappear. Well, that's kind of annoying. The axe icon gets your weapon ready for use. Displays all weapons from your inventory that you can use to fight. See Fighting for Your Life for details. Use the sword icon to engage in a fight. Then we have object examine, use, open, close, look in, drop. Okay. I need a break. At any time you can take a break and think about the latest life-threatening problem you've encountered. Just move the pointer over the ZZZ icon and click. The game pauses. When you are ready to continue, click on continue or press any key. You can leave WaxWorks at any time. Disk icon. Okay. Note, consider saving your position before you quit. Yeah, obviously. Things look grim. Death can come swiftly and painfully in WaxWorks. When you face a vicious foe or have completed some complicated series of actions, you'll probably want to save your position. Is there a limit on save slots? Doesn't look like it. Oh, it does. If you have more than 26 saved games, WaxWorks will create a second page of saved games. Oh, so actually no, there is no limit. That's cool. Interacting with the inhabitants. You are going to encounter many strange inhabitants while you are wandering around the exhibits. When you see someone, you can fight them, the most common form of interaction in WaxWorks. Search them for interesting objects, if they are dead. Talk to them, ask questions to obtain useful bits of information. Fighting for your life. Trying to figure out when to fight and when to talk. If you're confronted by a monster or a guard, chances are your opponent won't want to talk. You may want to chop off your head or cut out your heart, but it's unlikely he'll have chit-chat in mind, which means you're going to have to fight a lot. Be on the lookout for effective weapons such as axes, spears, and swords. You may even have to make do with an object like a shovel until you can find or make something better. After you've picked up a weapon, you need to ready it for fighting. To do this, use over the axe and click. Yeah, okay. As soon as you see an opponent, click on the sword icon. The sword icon activates whatever weapon you've selected and prepares you for fighting. If you haven't selected a weapon, you'll be fighting these unruly inhabitants with your bare fists. Not a good idea. You might want to run away and find a weapon. However, some opponents will chase you around, forcing you to fight them eventually. Seeing stars, someone's behind you knocking on your head. Oh, so there's 2 slash zones and 1 thrust zone? When you are ready to fight, your pointer becomes a sword. Now you can thrust or slash, hacking away at your opponent until one of you dies. Where you position the pointer on the screen determines whether you thrust or slash and the body part you attack. For example, when you position your weapon in the upper left corner of the exhibit window and click, the weapon slashes from the top left to the lower right, making a cross-cut on your opponent's body. Also, the body part you click on can make a big difference in a fight. A well-placed quick blow may remove an enemy's arm or some other offending appendage. Wow. Okay, so this sounds like the Elvira, but in some ways worse, because they've made it more complicated. Blood gushes from your opponent when you score a hit. Of course, blood gushes from your wounds when he hits you. But spurting blood isn't the only indication of what's going on. The boxes on the left and right bottom become active when you engage an enemy. They tell you about the damage per swing. The gruesome monster on the right shows the damage that you take when an enemy strikes you. Oh, I got it, okay. The heroic character on the left shows the damage you cause when you strike him. HP goes down each time you're hit, Right, when you're 0 you die, obviously. By the way, fighting is to the death. What to do with a dead body? There are going to be lots of dead bodies lying around, some killed by other inhabitants, some of your own making. You can search any corpse you encounter and take whatever is on the body. When you fight a foe, you share a position with him. When you kill him, he falls at your feet, disappearing from view, And you can search him. You better hope he's really dead. Let's talk. Not all inhabitants are out for your blood. Some may provide you with useful info. Others may follow you around, help instead of bludgeoning you into unconsciousness. However, it's not always going to be real obvious who's who. If you think one of the inhabitants wants to get chatty, yeah, you obviously click on... If he's interested in talking, a conversation appears. If not, he'll probably take a swing at you. When you're talking with an inhabitant, you may be given a series of questions or answers to select from. Okay. Help me, Uncle Boris. You're my only hope. Dying a horrible death doesn't stop someone like Uncle Boris. He's around to provide you with advice and assistance, just as if you were alive. To call him, just, click on the crystal ball. You can ask him for 3 kinds of help. Information. Only Uncle Boris knows what he had in mind when he created these exhibits. He is more than willing to communicate this information to you as you need it. Hints. If you're having trouble solving some aspect of the WaxWorks, Uncle Boris can share his vast knowledge with you. He can help you solve complex puzzles and face challenging situations. Healing. Your ability to obtain special powers usually depends on you having some object in your possession and having achieved a specific level. Asking for help costs psychic energy. The amount of energy depends on the kind of help you request. Talking with your Uncle Boris is just like talking with any other inhabitant of the WaxWorks. Alright, and there are the credits. Mike Woodruff, Alan Bridgman, and Simon Woodruff, the designers. Matt, thank you for the host. So these are the Woodruffs who also, I think, did Simon the Sorcerer, right? Yeah. Okay, that's it. So we finally reached the end of our manual. So wow, we're finally ready after, what, an hour and 20 minutes or so. We're finally ready to start WaxWorks. So this is a final opportunity now to submit your time guess for how long you think it'll take to complete WaxWorks, all 5 exhibits. Save our friend Alex, etc. I'm now in the, so you have in the next, I don't know, minute or so to get in any last guess. I'm gonna quickly add the ones, write down the submissions that were made when the stream started. I get this one. Okay. All right, so I see here Whitey's. Oh, Whitey submitted twice. Ambrosine. Okay. Here's Lee Raels. Ghost. Okay, Ghost is updated his guess. Oh, as has Lyrael. A second guess from Lyrael. All right, Jake. Yeah, if you want to make a guess, just click on that Google goo.gl link in the chat. Please submit through there. There's Godis. Mochan. This might be a record in terms of number of guesses. Danny Boyo. Retrograde Tom. Oh, you're in Central European Standard Time. I think I took that into account. Aren't you 6 hours ahead of? Oh, because you're not doing daylight time, so you're doing Standard Time. You don't have daylight time. Okay, Servo, got your guess. Anyway, Godi, the times I gave you still should be good though, because I basically have any time that daytime, my time, like, so any time before, what would that be? Anytime before 1700 Eastern time, U.S. Eastern time, that day should be good for me, more basically. You don't have daylight time, you're a vampire, nice. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look. That's it. We're now freezing the time submissions. Let's take a look at the guesses. On the low side, we have Ambrosine, the real Ambrosine. Actually, here's a reminder: if you're exactly right, hours and minutes, you get 500 Cedrics. Within 10 minutes, 250. Within 30 minutes or half an hour, 100. Within 1 hour, you'll get 25, and if no one's within an hour, the closest person will get 20. So Ambercene with a low guess at 437, and it kind of goes up from there. We've got actually 5 different guesses in the 7-hour range. Then we've got a little bit of a cluster here in the sort of the 10 to 13 range. Gradually coming up here above the 20 mark, you've got a few folks around 20 hours. Then it jumps up to Godi and Zenik in the 25-hour range, and Danny does have the high guess at 28 hours. Just to give you a frame of reference, the last adventure RPG hybrid that was by Horrorsoft that we played was Elvira. Game number 18 from Abs. That was done in 20 hours, 15 minutes. So I don't know what the length of the game is relative to Elvira, how tough the combat system is, but maybe that's a decent sort of baseline to go up or down from. I'm guessing, I don't know. Let's see. You play her pinballs. I do know what you mean, Godi. I do know what you mean. All right, so I think we're finally ready. We're finally ready to start. No, sorry, Ghost. The guesses are now frozen. That's part of your part of your any sort of research you want to perform to inform your guessing. Okay, let's kill this music, get rid of the cover, and let's start WaxWorks, game number 43 in the quest. Start the timer. You'll stick with it, awesome. All right, produced and designed, Mike Woodruff, and credits are going faster. Sylvia Perry. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should put experience at the top there. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Let me know how the music volume is. Oh, and there's the WaxWorks. Oh shoot, there's actually. Sorry, wait. I gotta do one thing. I forgot. I need to unlock the mouse. So give me 1 second. I just need to edit the config file because I hate getting my my mouse cursor locked in the game window, because then whenever I need to do something outside of it, it's a big pain in the ass. All right, where's the config? Here it is. Auto lock should be here, false. Okay, let's see. That should do it. Okay, let's resume the timer. I would say Dave & Buster's not very good food. Yeah, and it is overpriced. Tom's absolutely right. My wife and I went there for the first time like 2 years ago, and it was like during a trivia night, which was okay, fun, but the food was terrible and expensive. Good evening, sir. Something. Would you be so kind as to enter? Welcome to your uncle's waxworks. I'm his assistant. Please. It's going so fast, I don't have time to do anything to read. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. I don't have time to I don't have time to read the dialogue. That sucks. That's weird too, because this is the GOG version. So usually they're pretty good about like handling the cycles and things. Anyway, this is the copy protection, which is just supposed to be, I think, 1275. I'm a little concerned that we might not be able to read dialogue. Your uncle instructed me to give you this crystal ball, sir. I believe it is an old family heirloom. I know your uncle always guarded it very carefully. At last, nephew, you have come. You and you alone can complete my life's work and rid our family of the witch's ancient curse. Within these walls, you will find that I have collected together the most evil of all. Yeah, I can't read this. By the use of powerful magic, you must enter their worlds, find and kill them, and destroy the power that feeds the curse. Then, and only then, will you be able to find a way, so that you may fully understand this terrible curse. I have given the family's lawyer a very important letter for you. You should have read it before you came here. We did do that. If haste has prevented you from reading it, I strongly suggest that you read it now, so that your understanding of what is before you is complete. Each exhibit within my waxworks bears a plaque, which, when read, will tell you something about the evils that await you. Good luck, and remember, I may be able to help you later, but it will cost you. Communing with the dead has a terrible draining effect on the psychic energy of a living human. Please enter the waxworks through the door at the end of the corridor. Or end of corridor. Alright, it's auto moving. Boom, there we are. Okay. Yeah, let me just get a save in. Let's get a save in. Okay, so experience is 4 digits. Hit points 36, level 1. So I guess I'll do this by experience, right? Psychic energy. Okay, so we can probably only use that 10 times. The psychic energy. Okay. Yeah, I could read it myself, but that would kind of suck. Let me see. Yeah, let me see if I can decrease the cycles. I think it's Control or F11. Yeah. Okay, I put it to 90%, but hopefully that works. Anyway, I mean, I don't think we missed anything important because we did read the whole, backstory. So I think we did get everything there. All right, so let's see about this interface here. Pyramid waxwork. Examine. A waxworks of a princess being entombed inside a pyramid. Okay, so that must be the first exhibit. Is the ancient Egypt. Oh, that's why. Yeah, you can enter. Is there anything that's not pyramid waxwork? No. Oh, I can turn around actually. Yeah, look at this. I can go around. What's through here? Nothing. The graveyard waxwork. Okay, so they had a plaque. I see. Waxworks of zombies in a graveyard. Let's read the plaque. Actually, you know what? We can just do this in order. Let's just go to the what's it called? How do I? Oh wow, and they're like long descriptions too. Okay. Yeah, we can just go to the pyramid one. Just actually curious to see how. Okay, so all of the exhibits are pretty. I don't really have to make a map of the waxworks itself. Here's the mine. Okay, here's the pyramid. Alright. Let's examine the plaque. That'll tell us about this exhibit. The plaque describes the story behind the waxwork. Read. This is the time of the pharaohs, high priests, and great pyramids of ancient Egypt. The time when the first seed of true evil surfaced in your family's past. Decades after this generation, the witch used her crystal ball to search the history of your ancestors and resurrect this curse upon the future generations of your family. I already used a hint? Oh, no. Thank you, Cora. That was left over from Space Quest 3, actually. I never reset that. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be pretty bad if I used a hint already. The evil twin became the high priest of the ancient Egyptian god Anubis. How many people can say they're descended from Anubis? Or I guess it was Anubis who's the high priest of Anubis. It soon became the annual custom for Anubis to demand a virgin of royal birth to be ritually sacrificed. The girl would be sealed inside a sarcophagus, and upon her death would become one with Anubis and spend eternity in his service. The good twin brother was Prince Qasim of the Old Kingdom of Egypt, an honorary position earned by acts of great bravery in the service of the kingdom. Before he could ascend to the throne, he was required by tradition to marry a girl of royal birth, a princess. Okay. The night before the wedding, his bride was was kidnapped by his brother's servants and taken to a great pyramid on the edge of the kingdom. The prince vowed to recover his betrothed before it was too late and set out for the pyramid that same night. Oh, that's true, Tango. Yes, I did see what typing was. Okay. Actually, do we have an inventory, or I guess it's empty? I thought the crystal ball might. Oh shit, that was something. Okay, this is the direction. I see that changes the compass. I mean, I'm generally fine with direction arrows. Okay, this is the crystal ball, I guess, and this is like actually taking the waxwork. It is not possible to remove that item. Okay. All right, so let's just enter the waxwork. Okay, so we're in scene 1 of 5. Oh, look at that, and our experience went up to 1 too, which is nice. So, in terms of handing out Cedrics here, obviously when we complete each exhibit, that's a natural time to do that. I'm wondering how many levels there are. Has anyone played this before, by chance? Could just tell us how many levels there are, because that could. I'm wondering whether to give out Cedrics based on. I mean, we could do it based on levels obtained, but I want a rough sense of how many there are, so that I know how many Cedrics to give out for each one. We could do it by experience points after every, X number, or we could do it like based on solving puzzles and stuff in the game. But I doubt they would give you the yeah, they would continue giving you 1, but it's an interesting idea. Oh look, and our psychic level went up to 32, which is cool. This pauses it. Right, game pause, okay. Would someone be able to, who doesn't mind, oh Lyra, there are 4? Oh, so maybe it just means, yeah, the level just might mean what exhibit you're on. Oh, each level does have levels on it. I see, Lariel. So, would there be like 16 total, or actually I guess it would be 20 total, right? So like 16 to 20, somewhere in there. So like the Egypt exhibit has 4 levels in it. The London exhibit has, the London exhibit has 4, the mine has 4. Okay, none of your experience levels go with you. Okay, so if each of them does have 4, all right, that works. Cool. All right. So yeah, I think we'll do it based on level then. All right, what just happened? Blacked entrance. Okay. A huge block of stone has been lowered to lock you in forever. Okay, so is that where I came in then? Raised. It is far too heavy to move. There must be another way out. Okay. So we'll have to go this way. Oh god, so already we have to do some mapping. Let's not do it for now and see how bad it is, I guess. Already we met someone. Oh, it's a statue. Okay, music's too loud. Thank you. I will do that. Just lower that. How's that? Dang. Okay. A golden statue of a pharaoh. You know what? We probably should do it. We probably should do a map. Better? Okay, cool. If it could be even better, just let me know. I can lower it more. Let me get up Trisbort. Actually, I should pause while I do that. pause the game. Let's see. So, but because the game window is rather large, I probably won't have the map up all the time, but maybe just some of the time. I should have this captured from earlier, let's see. Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's select the region for this. Okay, so I may play around with this before the next stream, but for now I'll do something like this. It's not going to be on the screen all the time, don't worry. I'm just going to bring it up while I'm kind of actually doing some mapping. Although that could be annoying. We'll see how it goes. Let me just quickly edit some settings here. Colors. Yeah, let's fill that. That should be like gray. Okay, still update a little bit more. I don't know why the music died. Or maybe because it's paused. Coco's King Quest 5 flashbacks. Yeah, something like that. I did use this also for Zork and Castle Adventure. Some of you may remember. Grid. I want the canvas even darker, actually. There, that's better. All right, so let's do, whoops, new room, which would be, I guess, like entrance. And then, yeah, let's just center that up, puppy. Okay, then there was like up, there was like another path to the right, kind of. Oh shoot, the line should be changed. Okay, that's better. Although this is going to be kind of tough because these aren't really rooms. This is more like quarters. You know what? I'm going to scrap Trisbert for now. I'll go without the map for tonight, and then I'll think of, if it makes sense, I'll do a different solution for next time. Don't fuse it to Tassox. Yeah, that was great. All right, so we can't do anything with the statue yet, and we have nothing on it. Or actually, can we fight the? We have our fists. Use these at your peril. Let's see if we can actually fight the statue. I don't think so. Okay, that is now your selected weapon. Okay, at least we have something. I don't think this is an enemy though, is there? Or does it come to life? We better save. Oh shit, it is something. Ha! That's a great graphic. Alright, I don't think it's an enemy, even though it is letting us fight it. It is kind of amusing. Okay. It's not fighting back. Alright. Let's continue this way, left. Okay, we reached a dead end. Alright. Actually, you know what? Maybe the compass would be better because it would help us with the mapping here. Yeah, this might be better actually, because now I'll get a better handle of where we got. Okay, so this should be yeah, that's the mummy. Okay, yeah, I think I do like the old directions. Okay, so here's something. Oh, look at that! A guy got stabbed in the back. The Pyramid Architect. There is a gruesome knife wound in his back. Perhaps he is dead. Let's search him. A papyrus. A manuscript with a drawing of Anubis and several hieroglyphic characters. Okay. goodoldgames.com, aka GogCom. Thanks so much for the host. Much appreciated. Welcome everybody to the DOS Adventure Quest. We're currently playing actually a GOG version of WaxWorks, selected by Retro Bladen. We're playing all, actually now, that's another thing I forgot to mention everybody, 813, the game count is up, Moby Games, there have been some additions to the DOS Adventure list, so we're up to 813 total games we'll be playing, currently on game number 43 at the moment. So welcome everybody. So we just started, we're 17 minutes right now into WaxWorks. So I don't think I can we take the, is this the same papyrus? A manuscript with nothing of importance on it. Okay, so it was a different papyrus. Can I take this? How do I, yeah, hand, I think. Yes, okay, we got the papyrus, great. Anything else on this corpse? No, apparently not. Okay. So we have an Anubis drawing of some kind. Stylus and inkblot. Stylus and inkblot used for creating beautifully illustrated manuscripts. Can we take that? Yes, we can. Okay, a lamp. An oil burning lamp. Take it. Can we? Yes, we can. Okay. So we're certainly piling up on the inventory. A beaker. A wooden beaker, okay. Take that. We also have a bowl. Guess what? It's a wooden bowl. We got that as well. Thanks, Matt. Nice. Not going to use the Pacino command. The Pacino, I do love the Pacino command. It's my only regret, Matt, is that you're the only one to actually make use of it. That's what I'll say about that. Alright, we have a jug. A large wine jug. Let's look inside it. It's empty, okay? I imagine it's too large to take. Let's see. No, we can still take it, okay. There's also a pitcher. A large water pitcher, which apparently we cannot look in. Can we take that? It is not possible to remove that item, okay. What about the knife? Can we take the...
Great ass! And you got your head all the way up it!
There we go. Nice. nice code. So what you can do is, after doing exclamation Pacino, you can put in two people's names, and it'll put their, yeah, it'll put their names in that with who has the great ass and who has their head off it. Yeah. Okay, so let's examine. The dagger is bloodied naturally. Let's use it. No, let's take it. Okay, now we have a weapon that should be better than our fists. So let's use that. That is now your selected weapon. Okay, great. Look at that, our experience went up to 14. Okay, so the guy is dead. We can't take the papyrus. Or can we? Okay, we can take it. I'm going to take anything that's not bolted down. The only issue is if we need to, if there's an inventory limit, I'll end up having to drop stuff. They said nothing important was written on it, but you never know what else might be need to be. Oh god, there's a ton of stuff here. Oh yeah, wow, it did break. What the hell? A basket. A small reed basket. It's empty. Okay, can we take that? Oh my god, alright. We're probably going to end up dumping a lot of this stuff, but... A large wine jug. It's also empty. I don't think we're going to need more than... We already have a... Isn't the jug we already have a wine jug? No, we have a basket. I thought I also picked up a jug. Oh, this is not a wine jug. It's just a... Oh, it is a large wine jug. Okay, I'm only gonna... We only need one wine jug at a time. Let's... We'll have to exert some manner of self-control here. A jar. A jar full of oil. Okay, that could be helpful. I'm taking that. We also have a beaker and a bowl. We have a lot of vessels. A lot of vessels. A charcoal burnt on a burnt scrap. Oh. The burnt remains of a drawing. We'll definitely want that. Let's look at that. Oh, so this could be like a part of a like a map or something here. Maybe that's like a temple with statues, and those are stairs to come in. Finger Bib XD! Thanks very much for the follow. Welcome to the Das Adventure Quest. Yeah, I have no idea, Ghost, if we can walk dead. I'm definitely gonna make liberal use of saves, though, that's for sure. Let's take the burnt scrap. Got a charcoal burner for burning incense. I can't imagine we could take that. Not possible to remove that. Okay. Let's just look in these jugs to see if there's anything in them. They're all empty. We've got a mat. A reed mat. Okay, I can take that. We've also got another basket. Another empty basket. Large reed basket. Oh wow, I could take the basket, okay. I already looked in this jar, right? Yeah. So how many baskets do I have now? I have many baskets. They didn't... Well, actually, it was nice to see they... Like, unlike Elvira, which mentioned there was weight, and you couldn't carry above a certain amount of weight, I haven't seen... In the manual, there was no reference to weight, so maybe we have an unlimited inventory. Can always hope. Alright, we have a chest. Large carved golden chest. It's closed, okay? Open the chest. Now we can look in it. And we find a brooch. Or brooch, actually. A large gold brooch shaped as a scarab beetle. Definitely take that. Okay, so long, man. Close the chest. Alright. Basket. Another basket empty. Jug. Empty. This one clearly has some stuff in it. Papyrus. 3 large papyrus scrolls. Yeah, maybe we have to make spells or something. We'll take those. Oh, this one has a weight inside of it. A heavy weight used on balanced scales. Okay, so that could be used for an upcoming puzzle. We'll take that. Thank you. Now look at these pots. An earthenware pot with a lid shaped like a lion's head. Oh, if it's a lid, we should be able to open it now. Not possible to remove. I'll go back. So is there any way I can open the lids? I mean, it said it had lids. I guess I can't. Yeah. Okay, let's save it. Our experience is at 14, and we're just kind of in like... I'm just gonna put jugs and baskets. Oh, you can only use 8 characters. Shoot. I'll just put... Oh, architect. The architect was killed. That was the main thing here. Architect. I hate that they limit the number of characters you can use for a save file name. Okay, so that was that room. So now we should be able to... Okay, to the left, this was the this guy. There's nothing else here with him, right? Okay, we can't use a brooch, right? Is there anything we could, I just want to know if this is part of a puzzle thing, you know? Yeah, but none of the stuff we can really, like... Yeah, really use. Okay. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I want to move right. Okay. So this time it was a dead end to the left, so let's go to the right or the east. Oh shit, what did it say? I missed that. Did it say I was carrying too much stuff, or what? It said you have something. I hope that wasn't too important. Oh shit, here's somebody. A sword bearing guard. Alright, use the thing. Oh shit. How do I don't want to examine. Use the... Oh, I have to actually click that I want to fight him? What else would I want to do when he's, like, attacking me? Play again. Well, there's step number 1. Apparently we're bald. I like it. So yeah, I have to remember, I have to actually hit the sword thing to actually... I mean, I was clicking, but obviously it wasn't fighting because I didn't tell him I wanted to fight the guy who's in the middle of killing me. Yeah, it's very much like Elvira, apparently. Oh, I can use the arrow keys. That'll be faster here. All right, let's see what the message said. You've gone up a level. Oh, okay, went up a level. That's what that was. All right, so let's give out 5 Cedrics. We went up a level. Oh, okay, we want to add that quote? All right. Yeah, there is a command. I probably should put it in chat what it is. That was WaxWorks. Okay. There we go. Oh, shit. Oh, those stars. Oh my god, I was getting killed. Hold on. I gotta restore. Apparently that, if you saw that flickering on the screen, that was the mummy, or the pharaoh, whatever that guy is, carving me up. Alright. Okay, let's just save this as level 2. I'm gonna put Egypt 2. Okay. Oh, it's quote add. Yeah, I'm on deep bot, not on bot. That's why. Okay, so we know we're gonna fight this guy. Let's just do it. Hey, what the hell? I want to like hit his arm there. The good news is, like, whereas Elvira, it was like you'd alternate, you kind of alternate combat, like moves. Here, I can actually get a lot more hits in. I'm like, you know, obviously striking a lot faster than he is. Stabby, stabby. Where's our health? Oh god, I'm down to 6 health points. I have no idea what his health bar is like. Alright, death 2. So it's going to take me a while to figure out the combat system. It was the same way with Elvira. Okay, there at least I got his arm there. So I don't need to use the right button at all, which is different than Elvira. In Elvira, I had to use oh, there, I got his cheek. Man, should the first combat really be this tough? Yeah, so I don't need to use right click at all. Hey, there, we did it. Yay, okay. What was my, does someone remember what my HP was at full health? I guess we can find out in a minute. Okay, whatever. Oh, my experience is at 22 now. Okay. Kind of looks like a pharaoh type thing. I think we'll give out a Cedric each time we kill an enemy. Let's see how that goes. Oh, can I examine the body? No? Damn. Okay, I guess I can't. Wait a minute, that's not the way I came. Is it? The hell? Okay, yeah, this is... Alright, I just retraced my steps. Alright, so let's go here, we go to the right. Okay, yeah, there's the body. I wanted to see the body. That was my whole point. The body of one of your victims. No. Oh, okay, you can use the down arrow. Got it. Okay, that's how we do that. He holds a fine sword in his right hand. Yes, I will be taking that. Please. Oh, where's the sword? Ah, there it is. Sword from one of the guards. Oh, it was a guard. Okay. Yeah. Okay, take it. All right, I'm guessing that's going to give us that's a better weapon. Is there any way? There are no stats though. All right, I'm guessing a sword is better than a dagger, so let's go with the sword. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Let's go left here. Head north. Keep going north. Okay, we got it to a dead end here. Wait, what the hell? Can I just turn around? Okay, so go this way. You've gone up a level. Oh, look at that. Really? We're already at level 3? Are we sure there are only 4 levels? There are only 4 levels per exhibit? I mean, that seems awfully quick. We're already on the 3rd of 4 levels in Egypt, and we only killed 1 guy. You sure about that, L'Oreal? There are only 4 levels per. I mean, I guess save, but wow. Okay, I don't know why I'm going into a dead end there, but now I'm like totally disoriented too, but I mean, I have to think it's more, if we're more, it's gotta be more than, yeah, exactly, I was just thinking that myself, Tango. Would someone be able to look at maybe like sort of like a Let's Play on YouTube and just kind of click around just to see what that level counter looks like? Because that really doesn't make much sense. Okay, now I'm just kind of wandering, but this is a lot of mapping. I don't think Trisbort's going to be appropriate for this, because Trisbort, you know, this is just a lot of twists and turns, and Trisbort's more about mapping out individual rooms. So I think I'm probably going to end up having to do a pen and paper map for this. I mean, now I'm just utterly lost. I'm just probably going in circles too. But. Well, we'll keep on going until we find something. Can you, like, yeah, you can literally just go in a circle. Wow, okay. Oh, oh, okay. Oh, the body. That's actually good news. Now we're at the start of the maze, I think. Yeah, nothing of interest. I think, yeah, let me just confirm that this is the guy we killed. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's 10 levels. Got it. Alright, so... yeah, I guess we'll do, like, maybe 2 Cedrics for, like, a level. For going up a level, and maybe, like, 1 for killing an enemy. I mean, we could be giving out a lot of Cedrics here. That's fine. Alright, I don't like getting stuck in there. Let's go here. This probably just leads back to that same area. A prop. A wooden support holding up the roof. Do we want to knock it down? I mean, let's probably save. Oh, somehow we got up to 64. I think you get experience just for exploring the maze. It looks like. Okay, let's see knocking it down. I mean, it could just kill us, but let's see. You'll need a lot of force to shift this. Oh, okay. Alright, so this is probably our first puzzle then. Where are my notes? Okay, so we need to get enough force to knock down the prop. I don't really have anything additional that I could do that, like baskets and jars and things. Okay. No, wait, hold on. I want to look. What was in this way? Okay, this is a dead end, right? Yep. This is probably just going back the way I came, kind of. Yeah. Alright, let's just continue going straight. Let me just see. Nothing there. Let's head left first, I guess. What I really should be doing anytime it turns, just look in that direction just to see if it's a passageway or something. Oh shit. So I'm unclear, at least the Elvira one I kind of understood as like blocking and kind of thing, but this doesn't seem to be like that really. I mean, maybe yeah, I guess I'm supposed to do it. Okay, great. Experience 76. He holds a fine sword in his right hand. I mean, it's probably the same, right? It's probably the same sword. So I'm probably going to leave it there. I guess I can confirm, but... yeah, it looks the same. Yeah, okay, can I drop this? How do I drop this? Used to be able to drag in Elvira. No? Alright, I guess we have the sword. Hey, how's it going, Joy? Hey, Wallaby. Okay, experience 76. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is I'll end up giving Cedric space on experience. I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out for tomorrow. Let's save again here. Or not tomorrow. Thursday would be the next stream. Guard 2. Okay, let's just, I'm going to have to sign up in a minute or two here, but let's just see if there's anything quickly in the horizon. Oh, here's something. Alright, we went up another level to level 4. And we've got some water. Save. A pool full of water. It appears to be very deep. Collect. We have plenty of baskets to collect it in. As you bend down to fill the pots with water, a dark shadow looms out of the depths and pulls you into the water. R.I.P. So we don't want to collect that water. Can we look in it without dying? You were not sure, but there could be some sort of large creature moving in the depths. So maybe we have to like poison the water. I mean, obviously there's... is there something else there? No. So we may or may not have to do something with... I'll just put black water with alligator just so we're aware of it. If we get anything we think might be useful, that would obviously be the place to use it. Yeah, that's like a treasure kind of thing. Okay. Just quickly see if there's anything over here. Ah, another statue. A golden statue of a pharaoh. Not possible to remove it. This isn't... I haven't worked my way back to the... oh, a different one. A statue of a eunuch. An eunuch, maybe? Okay, interesting. So we got a different statue. Oh, a treasure room, maybe. Ah, look at this place. A black statue covered with golden artifacts. A sacred statue of a cat. Can we take that cat? Yeah. Wow. I mean, some of these treasures must be worth something. I don't know. Earthenware pot. Let's look in there. Nope. Look in the pot. Oh, we got another weight. Yeah, take that. I wonder if you have to like collect weights like all around the level, kind of thing. A gold encrusted chest. Can we open it? Not possible to remove it. Apparently we can't open it. Okay. What about this one? This one has a tile with a hieroglyphic character on it. Okay, take that. Character. That pot's empty. What about this one? Also empty. We have a chair. A ceremonial chair. Flaming torch. Smell of burning oil sours the air. It'd be helpful to have a torch if we could take it. Not possible to remove. Golden calf statue. Take that. We have another cat statue. I mean, look, if the game's just gonna, if I don't have an inventory limit, I'll take all of this stuff. Why not? A golden jewel encrusted open chest. It's empty. Okay. Means I can't take it? No. Another golden statue. Chest we can't look in. This pot is nothing, and that pot is nothing in there. Right? Yeah, all those are empty. We can't even sit in the chair? I'm surprised. Okay, so let's... oh, our experience is up to 94. That's good. HP is 42. I'll put treasure room, whatever. The character limit kind of sucks, but what can you do? Alright, so we only got 44 minutes in today, but obviously there was the whole big backstory to read, which actually was a really good story. I thought it was really quite well written. And then of course we had to read the manual and about the game history, and it was all pretty interesting. So far, so good. I'm kind of liking the game. The trick will be, I may even decide to restart to map things out properly on pen and paper for the next stream, which will be Thursday night. But I mean, we're already up to level 4, so we're almost nearly halfway done with the first exhibit, which is pretty good. Okay, so let's see who we want to host. Oh, that's something different. Ooh, wow. A lot of people on, a lot of great options. Think we use a tiebreaker? No. Alright, I think we'll do, I think we're gonna host, oh, he's not playing Retro tonight, though. Okay. I think we're going to host PBR. Haven't hosted him in a while. Of course, he's on playing every SNES game ever. And I think he was on Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but he may have... Actually, it looks like he's on Bob. So, oh, he must have beaten Romance. Wow. Okay, so we'll go... we'll go see PBR. And that'll wrap it up for day 1 of WaxWorks. 44 minutes in, and again, we're to level 4 in the first exhibit. Experience up to 94, and we've killed, I think, 3 guards at this point. So thanks so much, as always, guys, for watching. Next stream will be 2 nights from today, so Thursday night. And I hope to see you then, and I hope you all have a great Wednesday and Thursday until I see you next time. Cheers, everybody, and Ghost, I'll be moving Call of Cthulhu up momentarily. Take care, everyone. Good night.